And why I became upset with him was just the constant lies, telling me, showing up with money, having me wait around the office, never making it. I've become involved with his entire family now over these bad checks he keeps on putting in.
It's Joe time.
Please raise your right hand. Film producer James Lane claims he paid for an ex-friend's rent and the cremation of his uncle. Defendant Timothy McDuffie says the plaintiff should cut him some slack during his time of need.
All right, the plaintiff says that the defendant, a friend of his, has defaulted on 2 loans that he extended to the defendant's benefit. Tell me about it.
All right. In August, Tim comes to me needing $2,500. At the time, he said he was starting his own band management company. He books bands like Bad Religion, No Effects, and so forth. He was going to start his own company. He needed money to make his mortgage. He'd be paying me back in 2 weeks. It's $2,500. He's an old friend of mine, so I loaned him the money. I didn't put any pressure on him to pay me. I even asked maybe a couple of times. He comes to me again in early October needing $3,000. In fact, he comes to my office literally crying because his uncle has just died, his mother had no money, and he had to pay for the cremation. If I gave him the $3,000, he was getting money from his uncle once his uncle had died from the estate. He could pay me everything that week. I said, Tim, are you sure you can pay me? I want you to pay me this week. Promise me he would pay me. He didn't pay me. A couple of weeks went by. Tim comes back to me with a check for $3,000. I have the cash checks, by the way, that I gave Tim. This is
You allege that they turned out to be worthless.
Yes.
We'll be back with more Judge Joe Brown in a moment.
People in porn are notorious for being irresponsible, but even people in porn pay him back, and this is like the only person that's never paid Jim back on a loan.
Closed captioning sponsored by.
Explain the situation here.
I just wanted to say that during that time and all this going on, I was going through some really rough times. My mother and I were. And
sounds like a personal problem.
it was a personal problem, and it was definitely meant to make good with Jim, but I was really depressed, and life was really bad for me at this time. And
suck it up.
And I am sucking it up right now, and I'm working hard to pay my debts off. But
why
I want
not
you to...
this one? This has been somebody you've known a long time. He should be the last person to suffer.
Exactly.
First point, let's deal with this. You say you were going to pay him back out of the estate proceeds?
No, I mean, the money that was loaned to me by Jim Lane was for bills. Some of it was loaned, some was given to my mother for the cremation, but it was mainly for bills.
No. We're in Los Angeles County.
Yes.
Do you know how long it takes to get an estate probated? And do we have a will here?
No, we don't, sir.
Well, then why are you going to get anything out of it all? If there's no will, you wouldn't get a dime anyway. It'd go to your mother. You wouldn't get anything unless your mother predeceased, you, and then it would go to you. You'd get her share. So you're not getting a dime out of the estate. Why'd you mislead your homeboy over here?
Because I was in dire straits, sir.
That you put yourself into?
Yes. I dug my own hole, and I'm digging out of it right now.
You know about his partying, don't you? I bet you do. What's it about?
Well, I mean, check fraud could be explained by partying, but because it's so bizarre. But I work with Jim. I've worked with him for 5 years in the pornography business, and he loans people money all the time. People in porn are notorious for being irresponsible, but even people in porn pay him back, and this is like the only person that's never paid Jim back on a loan.
Judge Joe Brown makes his ruling after this.
Now, when are you going to straighten yourself up? You lost a lucrative deal. The group you were with is out there.
I've definitely hit
Bad
bottom.
Religion had a thing going on. That would have been a good group to keep on being on tour with, and you blew that.
Yes, sir.
Now, you got, what, $5,000 right now?
I'm out $5,000 with him. And why I became upset with him was just the constant lies and telling me, showing up with money, having me wait around the office, never making it. I've become involved with his entire family now over these bad checks he keeps on putting in.
Man, you out there in an environment, somebody will jack you if you run into the wrong somebody. $5K in the cost, you get your reward, judgment accordingly. You need to sit down and have a conversation about somebody about getting it together. Okay?
And this courtroom is now in recess. Well, it's good to see the defendant in this case recognize that his friend deserved to get his money back. He also recognized his need to suck it up. He's going to start now. It's like he wasn't just taking his medicine, he wanted it from the judge. We'll be right back. We're back. The defendant in this case says he hit rock bottom when he got fired as a band tour manager, and the career he spent years building was gone. Everything snowballed after that. He starts the repair process now. One friend down, probably a few more to go.
Sounds like a personal problem.
And
Suck it up.